Hello everyone, welcome back to Prince and Nikki's channel. Thank you for joining us today. Today's video we're going to be talking about the decking and the casting at Project Kofi. This is one of my most exciting stages of Project Kofi because we did the feature design, which sort of brings to life the whole groundworks that we did in the initial stages.
Yeah, it has been a very I'll say a complex design, isn't it? Because you can see what carpenter is doing there in order to get the feature right, the spatial angles you have to achieve. It's been a challenging one, but I'm glad we were able to achieve exactly what the design impression is.
Yeah, so if you haven't already done so, you can head over and look at the playlist under Project Kofi on our channel, and that does take you on the previous steps to where we are now, which is the ground floor block work. But today's video, obviously, we're going to take you through the whole decking, the reinforcement and the feature design, as well as obviously the plumbing and electrical. Before we go any further, I would just like to say thank you for all of you that's been joining us in the recent videos and for continuing to support us on our channel as we've grown. For those of you who have been with us from the beginning as Prince and Nikki, and as we've continued to develop into the current PND Construction Limited that we have been doing now more recently. Thank you for supporting us and thank you for helping us. Do continue to share and like our videos and help us to share the knowledge and experience that we're bringing to the YouTube platform and the building space.
And thank you to all the new subscribers too, and also all those regular people who watch our video but don't subscribe. Thank you for your support. If you like this video, please comment and share.
Yeah, it does make a big difference. If you hit the like button, it really helps the algorithms and helps people to see the video more. So do definitely support us that way and share the video. For those of you that are new to this particular project or to the channel today, just to give you an overview, this is a 5-bedroom property, and this is in Grey City Phase 3 area. So it's a fantastic piece of land, great community, great access to local services. But yeah, we're really pleased with how far it's come so far, and it's going to be a great home. Not long before we did the decking stage, the client came to Ghana to see the development so far, and it was really exciting for him to see his project on the land and to be able to see the building plans come to life.
Yeah, and it was great he was there because there were certain areas whereby he wanted changes to be made. As we always said, don't be afraid to do the changes. You're building your home, and you must adapt it to meet your needs, your expectations. So although those designs might be done, the designers might tell you this is a house, how fantastic it is. If you go there or you see photos of the build, actually, don't be afraid to ask the builder to make the changes that is needed for you to enjoy the house or how you want it to be enjoyed.
Yeah, I mean, even with our own project, we made changes as we've gone along, particularly with the stairs and other different areas part of the home. You have to make changes. You know how you live, you know how you move from room to room, and where you like your windows and things. So if you go to your project and you see you're not sure, that you think actually it looked nice on paper, but now I'm standing here, I think I want an extra window. I want the window smaller. Make the changes as you go. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, changes is integral part of construction process. All those of us who work in Europe or America, all the construction project, there is changes that happen all the time. I have no work on a single project here in the UK that has gone through from design to construction. Or let's just talk about construction period, whereby there is no changes that has happened to actual build process. So changes is integral part of the design, but it's important that those changes are communicated through the designers, particularly the structural engineer, where you are trying to move any structural walls. I would say the changes here the client made, particularly were in a closed kitchen area. So as we explained before in a previous video, this design got open kitchen, and then a wet kitchen. So a wet kitchen is whereby you do all your cooking and all your stuff, your fridges and stuff are kept there. Then your open kitchen is a more of a display area for entertaining. So when the client was there, he felt that the space in the wet kitchen was a bit smaller than he expected. So he had changes to be made, and also the laundry and the pantry room became one to become a better use space. So those are very very important decisions that you got to make at those critical stages before um, the work continues on site.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just really helps you to once you go there, and I think I would encourage anyone as you're building for your own project, don't just sit and receive the videos. It's definitely beneficial to go out there and see your project at key stages. We advocated ourselves, didn't we, to see the casting of the foundation. I think it's critical stages that you want to see and be there as well.
I think asking question is most important because we are not an exception. A lot of these our clients and everyone with us we work with. The questions we get asked, the question when we send videos through, because we send daily videos to our clients where the work is going, and questions we've been asked or changes we've been requested to make. It's just what you need to do to make sure you desire you deliver what the client wants. um, so it's important that you keep that communication through. Don't be afraid to make the changes. Some might cost you a bit more money, but majority of the time, your builder should be able to accommodate the changes to achieve the desired result because that is what you want. This is your dream home. You've saved up all this money and you want it. Don't compromise on the quality or the space you want to create.
Yeah. So what you're seeing on the screen here is them getting on with the decking. We used bamboo and plywood decking for this particular home. We have spoken about using metal decking previously in our video. We use metal decking on our own project, but we have also talked about, and I'll explain it again to you, for those of you who are new to the channel or haven't looked. You've got metal decking, and then you've got the plywood and bamboo, which is more traditional. There are pros and cons to both different options. We use metal decking because it would be more cost efficient. In this particular project, it's better for us to use the bamboo and plywood decking just because the size of the home, and also we're going up another level after this. So depending on how many floors and things, it's more beneficial to use the bamboo and plywood.
Yeah, just to briefly, just the belt decking Nikki is talking about is rental, whereby you rent these metal plates. Um, but even when you're renting the metal plates, you still need to buy your 2x4 woods, which will be used for the brazing. So that is cheaper, relatively cheaper, if you are just doing one floor decking and you got a pitch roof. But in a process whereby you got another floor or you got another slab to cast, it become more expensive to use a metal decking. So that is why on this project, when we do the cost and benefit analysis, we find out that it's better for us to use the ply and the bamboo decking. As you can see, this feature design we had, which is nearly about 38 meters of complex designs, it was the best option for us to use a plywood so that we can actually form the design as needed.
So here we have the steel bender. As we said before, this is a massive, massive house, and there's a lot of intricate details in the design features that make it a really strong building. So what you're seeing here, we had extra detail in this, didn't we?
Yeah, we're just gonna show you a video online. Most people ask the question, "You are now in Ghana. How are you supervising this?" So I'll show you because the details of these beams are not your everyday beams because there are some beams where we got 20 at the top, 60 in the middle, 20 at the bottom. So there is no single beam here that is got different arrangement. So I have to explain to the steel bender how to achieve those details. I have to do a complete video as I do on most of the complex design that we work with to make sure the integrity of the building is achieved. And also we had an engineer visit. This is I think is we had engineer visit here more than six times, just checking on the formwork or the formwork the carpenter was working, the engineer is there, regular weekly checkup on the steel bender, making sure that it's achieved. So the way we work is when you give a call to somebody, they might think, oh, your figure is expensive. But just imagine average, let's say you're paying um, your engineer 1,000 cities a day to come. That's a loan over 6,000 cities that you have spent just on quality checking, making sure the stuff is done according to the design. So it's good to make sure that you spend the time and go through the detail and deliver what is needed. Don't just assume all the designs are the same. And that is what initially when a steel bender got the drawing, he did not understand the complexity of different elements. Because if you take, for instance, the living room area alone, it's a big opening space, which uh, is approximately about 20 by 39 feet of open space. That is the living room area. So the complexity is different of the structure.
Yeah, and I think as well when I think from someone like myself who's a layperson that isn't in construction, um, I've learned a lot through this process, obviously doing our own home, but seeing a design in a building, I found it quite interesting as time's gone on, where you might have an inquiry that will say, oh, how much to build a 4 bedroom house? And as I've gone on and learnt that you can't price or give an estimate of a 4 bedroom house, because you could say in a traditional, square box house, a rough idea, but these designs that we're building, they tend to be more of the modern side. People from other countries that are coming and building tend to be, they want a particular style of building and they're not a simple build. So although it looks externally the same, like you might have people that are doing masonry work, it's sometimes it can be a bit untidy work when you see the work that they do, but once it's covered in plastering, you don't see what's underneath it. And it's the same with the iron rods. It's the detail that goes into it, and that's part of the thing that I've learned over the time is knowing what goes into the building, and how it's costed and how it's supervised. And I think that's one of the essential things, and one of the things that I've learned is that people need to really value and understand um, the cost of supervision.
It's
It's
not,
really important.
it's not aside the supervision, it's also understanding the design, because as we'll be talking about, it's a complexity. For instance, when we first priced this work, the design that we were giving, there wasn't enough iron rod in for this decking. So that is why we spoke to the client and got our structural engineer to redesign it. And it's double mat. This is double mat, and there is a 25 mil or 1 inch gap we have to put between that in order to create the features, in order to make sure that the design uh, uh, philosophy is achieved. So it's not just a matter of giving you the price, because when we started this, we all saw, oh, this the steel bender, we saw he would do it within 2 weeks. It took over a month in
Yeah, it's a
order
lot.
for the
But
reinforcement work
yeah,
alone to be done. Because
it takes a lot, doesn't it? But also it's important to get it right, and that's what we want to do for people, isn't it? Make
it's
sure
it,
it's right.
actually, aside that, one of the things, this is the biggest flaw we have ever cast in the company so far, and we're talking about over 5,000 square foot of decking we have to do with all this complexity with the design. So it's not just standard. Effectively, this is twice our house we build in terms of the decking. So it's twice our house. So I think we were very conservative in saying that being double marked, we could do it within 2 weeks, which with all the complexity, there's no single beam which is the same from this grid to this grid. It changes.
Yeah, and I think that's where the blessing is, in that where we've taken the decision quite early on to to limit ourselves to only doing a specific number of buildings at a time that are running. Obviously, when people are on pause, we can introduce other buildings. But one thing we've made sure is that where we have the knowledge and skills to help people build, but we also don't want to compromise on quality, and making sure that we have the time to be able to provide that alongside what we're doing day to day. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how far it's come.
Yeah, I think we just focusing on organic growth. We want the company to grow slowly instead of trying to grow quickly, take a lot of work on, then the quality and supervision will suffer because I'm heavily involved in every single project we're doing, reviewing the details, coordination, who is going to site on this day, what's everybody doing, how everything comes together. And mind you, I've also got a full-time job that
Yeah.
I do here. So we focus on organic growth that this company grow smoothly.
I think it was always going to be something that we wanted to do, a construction and building in the longer term plan, wasn't it? Because obviously what your background is, but obviously we was doing it in our own timeline with our own family plan and making sure that it fits with what we're doing now. So we're dipping our feet in, as I call
Definitely, as the business grow, yeah, who knows? We'll go full time.
it. Yeah.
Go and live the dream.
Yeah. What you can see in the background as well is whilst the guys was doing this, we've also used some time while they were doing the decking to do the fence wall as well, didn't they?
Yeah, we did a fence wall. So I'll just show quickly on the screen. We had to do a full design of the fence wall itself. We just don't go and start anything. So we did a full design of the fence wall. Have the client sign up on the fence wall. Some of the videos you can see now the fence wall is done. It's waterproof. You can see here that the design of the fixture. Uh, Beams or whatever you want to call it. It's been done. The reinforcement has been done. It's very a complex process.
What you're seeing here in this corner, that's the front right-hand side of the building.
Yeah.
So when you're stood at the roadside and you're facing the building, the right-hand side is where the garage is, and there's a large feature that comes down to the ground. So that's what you can see there. These are the very intricate details around the formation. There is a special design angle for all the formwork. So you can see there's two sides to the angle. There's a front and a rear side, but at the front it obviously angles and comes down to the ground. Um, these are the really challenges in making sure that you get the angles for the carpenter, but also for the steel bender. You can
Yeah.
see the steel benders starting to go in, but
Yeah.
there was lots of different professional people that was coming in to do that, but we did have it checked and rechecked.
Yeah, I think it's that there's a special angle you need to achieve.
But we're not going to tell that angle.
Because no, because I must say, although we are flattered that so many people are contacting us to say, "Oh, we like this building. Can you send us a design?" If somebody's professional work and if somebody's to pay for it, so it's not good just to say, "Can you give me the design? Can you give me the details?"
Yeah.
It doesn't work that
I
way.
think that's what we said. People have asked for the design, but at the end of the day, someone's had this design done for them and they've paid for that. So it's nice to be asked, and it's a nice building, but it's not our building to give out the design. People pay for that. So unfortunately, we can't give out the intricate details. You'd have to have that designed yourself. But yeah, you can see the feature design here. It's all kind of being ready in terms of the ironworks. So what will happen now when we're doing the floor casting, this will be a two-stage process to incorporate the feature design.
Yeah, it is. So first you cast a hold of the slab, the carpenter will be back and then do the firmware for the design and the feature design because you cannot cast all at one go.
What you're seeing on your screen now, if you see the red pipes, this is the electrical preparations. In all our building works that we do, we always use high pressure into plus pipes. And with the plumbing, we always make sure that we use high pressure pipes as well.
Yeah, so we do only the essential work at this stage. So if we have the house we're working on, so it's got a false ceiling, we don't put the pipe works in all the slab, because in our experience, what we find out is when you put these pipes in the slab now, the pipes are always at places where you don't want lighting, so we don't do that.
And people change their mind as well on design. Once you get to that finishing stage, you might change how you want your pup to look and where the lighting and stuff is.
Yeah, so that's what we don't write. So we only do essentials, how you get power from the ground to the first floor, so that when you come to your first fix, you are not chasing now into the beams to affect the integrity of the beams installing your pipe. So we only do essentials at this stage.
If you want to have a look at how we've done our essential electrical work, head over to our channel, look at our own Prince and Nikki project, and you'll be able to see how we did our first fix, what we wanted to avoid on our project, and we've continued that with the projects that we've been helping. Is we wanted to avoid the kind of spaghetti junction with all the pipe work on the floor, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now, once all that's done, we started on the casting. The casting we know would always be a little bit of a challenge because of the size of the building. We wanted to try to achieve and do it as reduced time as we could in terms of the number of days.
Yeah, I think it's the plan was we rent 3 machines and cast it one day, because in the past we be able to cast about 200 square meters with 2 machines in a day. And we thought, okay, if we get 3 machines, we're able to cast it one
In a
day.
long day, yeah, one long day.
But no, that wasn't the case. I think it's it's been such a frustrating day, because one of the machines decided not to be very efficient.
And I think that's the area, the rentals, because when we was casting this floor, the building in the background, their machine also broke down.
Yeah, I think it's to have 3 machine, and one constantly breaks down. They'll fix it, and it will just stop working. So earlier when you saw a gang of the guy just waiting for the machine to be repaired. So on the first day, it wasn't a very 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 successful day. But with the hard work with the team, we managed to have everything casted within 4 days. That's include the feature designs, which were in all it's nearly half of the floor.
Yeah.
Because when you consider the thickness of it, of the height, and it needs to be reformed, and then we were able to do everything within 4 days. That was a great achievement.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, in terms of the floor casting, it's over 500 meters squared in terms of area, which is over 5,000 square feet. So it's a substantial amount of
Oh,
work that went into it.
It is effectively over 100 meter cube of concrete that we have casted by machine.
And
it's not concrete machine that come and pour it for you. So
yeah, and it's 8-inch slab as well because of the double mat and the design. That it's an 8-inch slab. And I know some of you will jump in the comments and say, "Oh, that's so thick," but everything's designed right down to the tiny little point. So yes, people do cast really really thin ones, but then they start crumbling. There's
it's
a reason
not.
why it's the design.
Yeah, I think it's the original designs was to say 6 inch slab, but if you got 6 inch slab, you got double mat, and then you got a minimum coverage of your iron rod, which needs to be 25 mil both sides coverage, and then by the time you do the math, and then you got another 25 mil in, then you got your waste pipes and stuff on the slab. Unless you want your waste pipe to be showing all over, there's no way you could achieve that within a 6 inch slab. So it
Yeah.
was a better way to make sure you got a better product. I said to Brother Kofi, you can land a jet on this because this is a commercial grade.
Well, people used to say we could land a car park on our floor, so it's fine. Yeah. But I think that the main point is it is a full engineering program with a group of professionals that are checking in, and it's made sure that it's done correctly. You can see here, this is when the floor's being cast and they started working on the feature designs. So obviously all of the features designs were cast after this was done. And in just making a point with the feature design, I think what I noticed and realised when this was cast, after this was done, and you can see the shape of it at the end when they took the the wood off, you can start to see the design come to life. And actually you realize that if you go to the previous episodes in this, where particularly with the foundation footing digging, there was a large floor mat, and it was so big, and you look at it and you think that's a lot of metal in the floor, the iron in the floor.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But actually, when you see these feature columns, you understand why, because you have to look at, when you're doing these designs, it's the transference of the weight.
Yeah, back to the ground. And I think that's where the structural engineer work is very, very crucial, because they do all the calculations and make sure that the building will stand up. So yeah, that was a great work.
So that's kind of bringing us towards the end of the decking and the casting on Project Kofi. As I say, all in all, it was quite productive few days. It was a large, expansive area that we covered, but we're pleased with how it came in the end altogether. As I mentioned previously in our other videos, we are doing our best to help those of you that have come to us to help, not only on your building projects. We have a number of projects on our channel that you can see in our playlists, so head over to the playlist. We have Project Yao, Casa Josie, Royal View, and obviously we have this one as well. You can have a look at those videos, but we're also helping a number of our customers with different products and services. Obviously, for those of you that have purchased through us, DPM, DPC, Sika waterproofing products, decking and roofing, I want to give you all a great thank you and shout out, and just say we really appreciate you contacting us to get those products, which we are very confident will help you in your own building project to have longevity. We are really advocating for damp prevention. It's one of the big things that we're quite keen on in terms of moving forward and helping people. And thank you to those customers who have ordered the roofing sheets. We've had some fantastic feedback, particularly in the last few weeks, since we did our roofing when we was in Ghana. We had a number of customers that came to us that wanted roofing sheets. They've now all received and mostly installed their roofing sheets now. I think they're looking fantastic. So thank you for coming back to us and giving the videos and pictures of your projects. They do really look beautiful. So those of you who haven't already looked into that, definitely look into the purchasing of roofing sheets. Do get in contact with us on the number on your screen if you want any of those products or services from us. We do design and build, and obviously we're open to helping others where possible. This is the feature design once the wood was removed, so you can kind of see the back end. You will see the front of the feature on the next videos that are up and coming, but you can see the sheer volume of it. It's a large amount of concrete and ironworks that's gone into it. But thank you for joining us on today's video, and we will look forward to joining you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.